with inflation and the threat of global recession, how much of it is important to have gold in your portfolio, and how much gold should you have as a recommended allotment?
I know this question gets brought up all the time. When I think the best hedge for an inflation is to invest in the companies that run the world: Vanguard, Blackrock, Apple, Microsoft. So, and then invest in the sectors that are going to outpace any recession drawdowns that we have. Do I think we're on the brink of a recession this year? No. 25 or 26? Possibly. So what I'm personally doing to gear up, I'm just waiting for the right prices to buy the assets that I know are going to do incredibly well. VOO, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Nvidia, Eli Lilly. And if you look the 5 years after a recession, the tech sector normally outperforms because a lot of money and inflows go directly there. Even with in the conversation on diversification, if you have two tech stocks and then you have VOO and VTI, but VOO and VTI are 33% tech weighted, is it diversified or hyper concentrated? There's a reason why. So gold is important, I think, as a hedge, but it wouldn't be my go-to hedge. Number one. Shout out to 19 Keys. I know he's gonna tell me otherwise. It's my brother. So it is a good hedge, but it's not a primary one for me or the people that run the world. And all that gold out of Fort Knox anyway. That shit been long gone. We're gonna tell the truth or no. Yeah, keep it on me. It's not there. So just like Satoshi Nakamoto, not in Kyoto, he in Langley. But what do I know? These are just jokes.
Langley.
Okay. Crazy times, yo.
Crazy times.
Yeah, gold is a good hedge. It's performed incredibly well during every recession. The value's going up. I think Bitcoin probably will be a better hedge as the dollar's falling. So those are two assets or two ways to play the recession.
Hit the like button and
Please.
share. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going into the question everybody wants to know. What are the top 3 stocks that you should include in your portfolio heading into a recession?
Okay.
We've covered them endlessly. Microsoft, because they're going to... Okay, with the value, my favorite thing is to play investor questions. If OpenAI goes public within the next year or during a recession, even though it's going to be a drawdown, they'll be able to get enough attention, right? And if Microsoft owns 49%, would that double or triple the value of Microsoft, or will it make Microsoft decline as a result? Will it go up or will it go down? Microsoft's going to go up. So, numero uno. Number 2, Apple. And then third, I think, is the big new player on the stage is Nvidia. I've been telling you. Like, I design my portfolio to work regardless of what's going on in the market. And I'm very careful about that. So if you're investing in the companies that run the world and have majority market share in the sectors that matter the most, you're fine. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. Your portfolio should be indestructible, regardless. And the truth be told, they're not going to let us like just slide into a we'll never have a 2008 recession in our lifetime again, because it's too fresh in the mind of all investors. So they're going to be smaller or more niche recessions. They wouldn't announce that we were in a recession. We had 2 negative quarters. They'll tell me everything I needed to know. Then all of a sudden, everyone wants to talk about the SAM rule. And then after the Nikkei slides, we recover in 3 days. So they've thrown the traditional rule book out of the window. But Microsoft, because they're going to own the AI sector, Nvidia, and Apple.
Okay.
Argue maybe Bitcoin, but I don't think Bitcoin is drawn back enough to buy it. So if Bitcoin goes sub 40, I think Bitcoin can have a hell of a run during a recession, for sure.
I assumed that you were going to take the tech approach. So I chose companies that weren't tech.
Okay.
Because I feel like people know those.
But people should do what they know works.
They should.
For some other shit that they want to just make up and then be like, Rashad, you told me to invest fast. I should invest in sour grapes and sour sop and milk. And I didn't tell you that.
I'm gonna run down a list
Okay.
in terms of a recession. It's funny because we were talking about gold, and most people over the past 12 months have been buying gold from this stock.
Yep.
And so I put Costco in there.
I like Costco.
Just from a necessity standpoint, right? When we're talking about recession, there's a couple of things that people are always going to need. Food and products, and they're going to need health care, right? Those two things will remain. So for that, I had Costco, I had Lilly. Costco's up 33% year to date. Lilly's up 50% year to date. And then I put P&G in there as a safe bet, like a safe, slow, steady, long-term investment. It's not the most volatile. It's not going to be your value in play. But if you're talking about slow and steady, progressive, and just a stable of a company, I always put P&G in there when they talk about recessionary stocks to look into. And that's up 12% year to date.
Yeah.
Those were the three outside of the tech space. Obviously, I love the three tech ones you said, but and then I'll put probably Amazon before Bitcoin, but those would be the ones outside of tech.
Okay. Has the Nasdaq bottom been reached for the year? Are we up from here, or will we have another major correction pullback?
I think we'll have a medium pullback sometime in September. And then after that, we're off to the races. I think by early October, I think that they will know who will win the presidential election. That will be priced in. Unless something dramatic happens at the very end and Olivia Pope can't fix things in time. But I think September we'll get a decent pullback, a good buying opportunity. And after that, we're good. Even for all the stuff that's been talked about, if you've been with us the last 4 years, the drop that happened last week was a flash in the pan. It wasn't the deep. It's not like Zillow or Zoom or Rivian. It's like it wasn't that deep of a drop to make everyone panic the way that they did. I think it was a fear of knowing we could crash or that we should be crashing. The sentiment is most of the stocks are too high for where they should be, but we haven't had a deep enough catalyst to let it run down. I remind you again, go watch The Big Short. This reminds me of the scene where Moody's were buying the ratings and the banks were buying the ratings to keep everything afloat. They're doing their job to try and keep everything slow and steady. But I think another deep crash, no, I don't think we're going to have one of those until after someone is in office.